Hello, my crafty crew. It is time for week 17 of Project Life. So you can see here I've got quite a few photos this week, which was a surprise, but they are kind of, what I will say is they were over mostly one day, which is fine. That's just Project Life. That's fine. So you can see here I've got some photos. I've got two photos on the left-hand side of Cosmo at the park. Photo of the house. We started landscaping the front garden, so I wanted a kind of in progress photo. I did get the front page. I think this is the Washington Post. I can't remember, but I managed to snip off the top of that. But I just got the front page of the Washington Post. That is an app. I think there is a web version as well, but you can just kind of scroll and find like the front page of newspapers. So I've got that. That is the day that the Pope died, and I just wanted to include that in like as news in my Project Life. On the left-hand side at the bottom, there is a bunch of photos from a restaurant that we went out to on Wednesday. We had a day trip out to Pasedena, and so I've got some the front of the restaurant and then the food that we had, which was angry pork and I think it was yellow curry. And then on the right-hand side, I've got a photo. I did a little selfie outside the front of Remainders, which is a thrifty craft store or crafty thrift store. And I did get some stuff, which you will see in another video soon. But yeah, I should have taken a photo of the stuff that I bought, which I still could include and just pop it into the back of the pocket there. So I got a little selfie of that. There's a photo of the dogs kind of coveting my jam on toast. Then there is the black card there that I've just cut. That is a meme that I saw online. And it says, being called weird is like being called limited edition. It means you're something people don't see often. Remember that. And that's because I always say my brain is weird. So it just seemed like that was something that I wanted to include. There's a photo of my husband, and Stella is like resting in his legs because that's what she likes to do. We call it a leg cradle, where she just rests in the middle of your legs. There's the Calm the F Down. That is the front of one of the books that I read. I read generally non-fiction. I will read on the Libby app, the audiobooks, and then fiction I read on my Kindle, like an actual book. So audiobooks are non-fiction. Fiction is a regular book, but on my Kindle. And then the final photo on that right-hand side at the bottom is just a photo of Cosmo because he was just being an absolute darling and just laying there with a toy in his mouth, just looking at me like, throw it, throw it. He's super cute. Anyway, so that is all the photos. And then the kit that I'm using here, I believe this is 2023 Stories by the Month. And I love it. I love it. I love this kit. I love it way more than the 2025. I got this on sale. I want to say either earlier this year or last year. I can't remember. And it does have a stamp set, which you will see later on. But yeah, I just love it. So I'm doing something I don't normally do, which is I'm cutting out the foiled vellum. And I'm doing that purely because the April one has the month on it, but the month is a Sunday start. I do not do Sunday start. So yeah, sorry, Ali Edwards, but no, the month starts on Monday. The week start on Monday. The month should start on Monday. So I cut the April off there, and then I cut the oval quote out just again so that I got the pattern paper behind that could show a bit more. I cut the 4 out at the 04, and I think the gold ones there, they may have been from the 2025 kit. So I'm pretty sure I've kind of blended both, pretty sure. And then I've got the one that says, I think it's like more something or other, more fun, more books, more laughter, blah, blah, more words. And I placed that on underneath the photo of Bob and Stella. The little April chipboard on that top left-hand side page, that is also from the 2025 kit, I think. So I've blended both. And that's the great thing about the Stories by the Month kits. The color themes match year after year. So you can see the little stamp set that I've got there. That is again from the 23 kit. And I do end up stamping that eventually. So I'm just kind of looking through my stamps right now, trying to find my number stamps that I want to use. These again are Ali's. So yes, and then I get my ink pad out and then just practice stamping a little bit before I stamp onto the title card. And I'm just going to do a 17 there. I have kind of like pre-printed the dates onto clear sticker paper. So I get that stamped eventually, and then I'm just going to start putting the little cards together. So you can see me, I am just like cutting down some stuff. I'm moving things around because that's what I do. I'm never happy. I'm never happy with the final placement of things. And I think mostly for this one, there was just a lot of like white or bright stuff, but I do like the fact that the colors of the patterned papers in this kind of reflect the colors in the food that we had on that bottom left, so it does feel like cohesive. You can see me here, I'm just gonna literally stamp out right now on that little journal card. And then eventually I do at the end put some journaling on there. And basically it was just all about the remainders trip that we had on Wednesday. The little yellow boxes that you see here, I printed out last week and then didn't use all of them. So I'm going to use those for some journal spots along with the black ones that I used. I think I used those last week as well. Those are just, I think they're from Dollar Tree, but they're just little Avery black labels. The circles that you see here are from the 2023 kit, and I'm just going to attach 3 of those onto the, like some of the photos. I was really reluctant to put this one on the photo of Cosmo, but it did need something down there. And I did just go for it in the end. I was like, maybe I can just put it on the top of the page protector. But yeah, I eventually did put it onto the photo. But again, like I can print out the photo again and use that photo as a story in the dog's like scrapbook album. Like, stop overthinking it, Di. So I just put the 3 circles down, and that gives me a nice visual triangle. I've got the visual triangle of the pattern paper, and then I want a visual triangle of the gold, but I only have 4 gold. I've got the gold April, the gold 4, the quote, and then the word paper. I'm going to call it the word vellum. So I end up not using that 4 that I cut out earlier, which is completely fine. Which is completely fine. So yeah, I'm just going to add little like labels to some of the photos, just to give the photos a little more context. And then I will journal on those with, I think I use my Sharpie S-Gel. So again, some of them I'm putting the black on, and then some of them I'm putting the yellow ones on. So yeah, it came together fairly quickly. It just took longer than I anticipated, which seems to be, it just seems to be the theme of the week right now, is just things are taking me a little longer than I am thinking. So yeah, I get all the labels on and then just start doing all the journaling. And when I'm doing the journaling, I get my little word strip stickers out and decide that I'm going to put a couple of little word strip stickers on each of the little journal spots. And I just think that brings in some of the colors from the pattern papers, because the pink and like the peachy color, the pink, the green, they're all in that pattern paper. So I end up using the peachy color from the February Stories by the Month kit, and then the green from the April one. And I do that on almost all of the little journal spots that I've done. So yeah, I'm just going to journal on all of the cards and then we'll be about done. Now, for the actual journal card that I stamped on, I decided that I was going to do my lines first and then write. Now, in hindsight, what I should have done was done it in a thinner pen, but it looks fine. It looks fine, and it's got my handwriting on, and that is great. So yes, I'm just going to journal a little bit about that. Is it perfect? No. But that's part of stamping and handwriting. It's not supposed to be perfect. I keep telling myself that. It's not supposed to be perfect. The stories are told, the photos are there, and we're good. So pop everything into the pockets and then I'm going to show you a close-up. And at the end, I'm just going to pop it all back into the binder and call it done. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, then drop me a comment, leave me a like. I'll see you next time. Subscribe if you're not already. Bye!